We all need a plan to scale AI, but that plan needs to be focused on the most important part of adoption, the humans. If you haven't met me before, my name is Jo Johnston. I'm a senior cloud solution architect at Microsoft. And my role is to help our customers transition their way through this change that we all find ourselves in and helping their humans understand how to build these new habits and behaviors to be getting the most out of tools like Copilot. In this 15 minutes, which is the lightning talk that I gave during the AI tour, we looked at what we've got available to us to help us with some key parts of our adoption plan. So communications, skilling, and measurement. And at the end of that session, I pointed people to some great resources to help them build their plan. Before I ask colleagues to change their ways of working, I like to just kind of get to understand a little bit more about the problem they're trying to fix. What is the why for AI? What are the high value scenarios that are really going to make a difference to colleagues from a productivity point of view, or for the business and the role that they're in that business? They want to know the what's in it for me. We are all really busy people. Why should I invest my time to learn this? And is this pain of change going to be worth my time? So listening to colleagues is going to be critical. There's no well-established playbook. We find this ourselves in this era of AI. We are asking people to change their habits and behaviors that they might have had in the workplace for 30 years. Is it going to be worth an investment of their time? So we need to listen to their concerns and we need to act on them. And we need to test and adjust our plan as we go. This process is not going to be a one-time deployment. This is an evergreen solution. AI is not going away. We need a plan that's going to be continuous. It's going to be, how do we continually learn? How do we continually adopt? And how do we continually improve the processes that we currently have? So I'm just going to take you through some of the key things that I think we need to explore as part of that transformation to make this transformation human-centered, inclusive, and definitely sustainable. There are 10 user experience principles that we use to really guide how we design and adopt Copilot. And the first one, given this is a human-centered approach, is user centricity. This is 100% a people change. This is not a technology change. We need people to change their ways of working. And this is quite a nervous time for a lot of people. People are not 100% sure that they're ready for AI in their lives. They don't know how it's going to impact them. So our plan needs to be led with empathy. We need to consider how people are going to react to this change. And then we need to make it really simple. When I talk about artificial intelligence, people are like, oh, that sounds a bit techy. I'm not sure I want to get on board with that. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it. We need to make it really simple. If they can have a conversation with a colleague, they can talk out loud, they're going to be able to get on board with this. So we need to make sure that they understand how easy this is. We need to give them the clarity that's needed so that the changes that they make to their habits and behaviors are really, really simple. And we give them some good practices to start with so that they know what they need to do to change their habits and behaviors. We need to make it relevant. The what's in it for me. What is in it for me as a cloud solution architect? What is in it for me as somebody that doesn't have a lot of time on their hands or has to do various processes every week? Think about how you're going to make this relevant for those individuals so that they can't wait to get on board. And then people like to learn at different paces in different ways. So whatever we provide them with, it needs to be accessible. Whether that's self-serve or instructor-led, that content needs to be accessible and easy to get a hold of. We need to drive engagement. We need people to be talking about this, the managers to be talking about it, the leaders to be talking about it. This should be front and center of every conversation that is happening if you really want people to understand the importance of this in your organization. We need it to be collaborative. We're all learning together. As I said, there's no playbook for this. I learn how to prompt based on the prompting that I've seen other people do. We share ideas. We collaborate together on how we can use AI in our business process. That collaboration is going to be key. And then that feedback. What happens when something doesn't work? We don't want negativity to breed negativity. We want people to be excited about this. But if the prompting skills aren't up to scratch or something actually doesn't work, we want to make sure that they're feeding that back to us so that they don't just give up, so we can keep this momentum going. And then when people are successful, we want to recognize them. So recognizing and rewarding as part of this adoption plan is going to be key. These aren't just buzzwords. They're the foundation for creating meaningful, inclusive, and effective AI experiences. So as you think about your own AI rollouts, I'd really encourage you to apply these principles intentionally. Whether you're designing workflows or training materials, keeping the user at the center will help drive adoption, it'll help drive satisfaction, and it'll give you that longer term success. So let's have a look at 3 components of that adoption plan. The first one is obviously communications. If you don't tell them why they want it, where they can get it, we're never going to get everybody on board with us. We need to skill these people up. So we'll have a look at skilling. And then how do we know we're being successful? We'll have a look at how we measure that. Now, the good news is you have at your fingertips a lot of these tools already. So it doesn't have to be as difficult as it may seem. So let's start off with having a look at this first pillar, which is communications. As we move deeper into our AI journey, it's essential to recognize that successful adoption isn't about deploying technology. Build it and they will come is not a strategy. I'm sure you've heard that many times. It's about cultivating a culture that people are ready to embrace. And the first thing we want to do is assemble our change champions. These are going to be our army on the ground. These are the ones that are going to get people excited, really help spread the why. So pulling these people together, but giving them somewhere where they can share ideas, share successes, ask questions is going to be really important. Without these people, you are going to find it really difficult to scale. These champions are going to be key. So admins can launch a Copilot community in a single click in Viva Engage, just in the admin center. So within a couple of minutes, you could spin up that community where you've given your champions somewhere where they can go and collaborate and share best answers. It's going to be a vital central hub for that engagement. Next, we want to identify those leaders, those visible leaders. These are the ones that are going to help us drive the AI journey. They're going to tell the story of why this is important to the organization. And they can also use Viva Engage to help amplify those messages. They can do things like host Ask Me Anything sessions that are just really going to help to be built on that momentum and trust. We need to keep this going, and not just an individual sponsor, multiple sponsors should get involved here. If you've got different licenses available to you, there are other tools out there like Viva Amplify or using Answers in Viva or Viva Engage Premium. And these give you the ability to do things like deliver pre-built comms kits to make it nice and easy for you. Or if you're getting lots and lots of questions and you want some help answering those, you can get AI-powered answer engines. Ultimately, this is about creating a culture where AI is not just accepted, it's embraced, where leaders are visible, where messages are clear, and where employees feel supported throughout this journey. Now, just what else could you be doing in Viva Engage? Well, as I mentioned, I learned to prompt by looking at other people's prompts and realizing I'm kind of missing a bit of information. I'm trying to keep to that keyword searching, and this isn't keyword searching anymore. So sharing best practices, sharing prompts is really important. Sharing success stories of how you've saved time and you've driven productivity in your team. Accessing key company messages, like what's the latest in adoption, how well are we doing with adoption, what's the mission, and then maybe somewhere to go and seek support, whether that's peer-to-peer support or for IT admins. Just continuing the communications, you also have access to Viva Connections. Now, this could be your new home for Copilot, a one-stop shop that helps everybody stay engaged and informed. It can be configured so the view is tailored for specific roles within your organization and branded as your own employee app. So, which means that wherever you work, you've got that different view. So if I'm a frontline worker, or an information worker, I might have two different views. I've got two different sets of resources, two different sets of tasks, different news content specific to my role. So I'm more of a personalized kind of offering. All right, so we've built that awareness. People know the why, they know why it's important to the organization, why it should be important to them. How do we scale them up? So there are tools like Copilot Academy that gives you out the box, up to date content that can help drive skills, especially skills like prompt engineering, which we know is absolutely crucial to unlocking AI's potential. We don't want to have to keep building this content. So why don't you just give it to somebody else to do? Copilot Academy offers curated learning paths designed by Microsoft experts. It's preloaded in Viva Learning. It's available in 8 languages, which is great if you're a global company. And it requires no admin setup. So it's a quick way to get up-to-date training content out at mass on scale without needing to create that content yourself. So it's especially helpful if you don't have a lot of resource and you just want to hit the ground running, especially with those prompting skills. There are other skills out there. So there's skills in Viva, which brings learning and skills into one's place. It uses AI to help people build skills while they work. So instead of having to go and search content and trying to figure out what that learning path should look like, it gives them a centralized view of skills, learning, and how they're going to grow. At the core of that is something called AI-powered skills profiles. And these profiles build over time based on the work that people do, the content they're engaged with, and what they choose to add and remove. So people see a curated learning path, gives them practical guidance. And because all this sits in teams, they've not got to go somewhere else and find that content, kind of keep it in the flow of work. And then for leaders, the skills feature also provides clear insights. So you can see emergent skills, skills gaps, things like that, and then plan your development a bit more confidently. Right, so they know where it is, they know what it is, they know how to get skilled up. How do we know we're actually driving any impact? We definitely need to measure. Measurement is key if we want to keep testing and adjusting our plans. Now, there are tools out there in Viva like Viva Insights, Pulse, Glint to help you track usage, gather feedback, and assess impact. The Copilot dashboard helps you measure usage and adoption. It's got multiple different reports in there just to help you understand where to focus your adoption plan on your precious adoption resources and how are people starting to change their behaviors. Is what you're doing having any impact? You can then dive deeper to help people or to help measure return on investment. Just see if those changes of behaviors are having any impact. It looks at reviewing usage and outcome data. And then you've got Glint and Pulse, which are available to track feedback and customer sentiment or user sentiment, as well as helping people navigate the change. So you can adapt your plan where needed based on that feedback and sentiment that you see. All right. So I've got a little demo. I'm just going to kind of take you through a whistle-stop tour of some of those features that I just talked about so you can see what they look like. So the promise of AI is real. It will transform the way everybody works, but achieving this requires a plan. And organizational leaders must decide how best to roll out Microsoft Copilot and help users get the most out of it. So you've got the Copilot dashboard, helps leaders prepare for their Copilot rollout, helps them understand where to drive usage and how to measure that impact, especially in some of those primary apps that we know and love. Now, creating awareness is going to be a crucial step to driving adoption. And if you've got tools like Viva Amplify, that can empower leaders and teams to elevate some of those key messages. You can create campaigns that get colleagues excited about this change, which we really want. We want people to be as excited as we are. And then within that campaign, you can create and manage internal communications to drive awareness of that AI strategy. It's got some great templates and guidance, and you can publish out to multiple channels simultaneously and then manage those campaigns and view things like engagement metrics in a central hub. So clearly communicating is just going to be one step in that adoption program. It really requires that upskilling of your workforce. They really need to understand what the art of the possible is. So how can we help them learn how to use these new tools effectively? You've got Viva Learning, provides a centralized hubs where teams can discover, share, recommend, and learn from different content libraries. And then academies provided by Microsoft have that whole kind of learning profile in there for you. You've got the dashboard in Viva Insights, enables leaders to track adoption, measure an impact in your investment Copilot across those different apps. You can monitor progress, especially by things like organization or teams, by business function. And then if you click on the impact tab, you're going to see there's a kind of a central dashboard, and it measures how those changes of behavior are happening, especially in key areas like meetings, emails, chats, and documents. Now, if you want to do a deeper dive, you can do a bit of a comparison between those that have licenses for Copilot and those that don't, or different groups within your organization. And also, you've got that employee sentiment data as well. So you can have a look at how people are starting to feel as you drive this into your workforce, and get a bit of a line of sight into productivity and engagement of your workforce as well. So lastly on here, you've got the learning tab, and that learning tab tells you a little bit more about Copilot capabilities based on Microsoft research and industry best practices. So these are just a few ways that tools like Viva, which a lot of people already have access to, can help you build your AI transformation. So keeping it in-house, not having to kind of go and build new tools. So as we scale AI across the organization, it's critical to recognize that this isn't, as I said before, a one-time deployment. It's an ongoing journey of refinement. And iteration is a core principle of responsible AI adoption. We're going to need to rely on those feedback loops, whether they're through surveys or telemetry or direct engagement, in order to uncover some of those gaps in things like functionality, usability, adoption. To stay relevant, we have to evolve. This is moving so quickly. With new technologies coming out all the time, new features are coming out all the time. We are learning and adjusting and rebuilding. So this constant loop of innovation. So that means that as we build things, we may need to go back and review those. We may need to go back and look at those workflows and then integrate that new functionality or integrate new platforms or models as they emerge. And this is going to be really important, especially as we get those new AI models. And of course, we're going to want to align this with our responsible AI principles as well. And they may also evolve as we learn more. So that feedback is going to be critical. It's going to help us understand where Copilot and especially agents may start falling short, and where we can improve them. So as we advance the technology, we're going to have to go back. We're going to have to look at those agents. Could they now be better? Is it connected to the right model, etc.? So it's going to be how we ensure Copilot and agents continue to deliver meaningful value over time. So what is your plan for that? How are you going to keep up and keep iterating and keep your champions on the ground driving that engagement for you and sharing those good news stories on how this tech is going to help us? So that is my very quick lightning talk. There are loads of things that I could talk about from an AI adoption and point of view, but I think we covered 3 key areas there for you to consider. My go-to resources are the Copilot Success Kit. So if you haven't been to the Copilot Success Kit, go and take a look. It's constantly getting updated. It's going to help you prepare, plan, and deliver a user-centric plan, and help you think about some of the things that we've mentioned today. So you don't have to go and create all of this content. We do a lot of that for you. So have a look at the success kit, have a look at the adoption site. If you joined us on the AI tour and you're looking for some of the resources that were shared, have a look at that link. I'll put the link in this post as well. And yeah, also there's a link in the Copilot Success Kit to the M365 Copilot community where you can be amongst your peers who are also trying to drive Copilot in this new era. So thank you so much for listening. If you've got any questions, post them down in the comments. I'll see if I can help answer those. But hopefully it's given you some ideas on things to think about as you're building out your plan. Thanks again.